Every job at its heart is. Well, it's an exchange, isn't it? We give our time, our effort, loyalty maybe, and in return, the employer gives us, certain conditions and pay.
Right. But when that basic deal feels off, the business takes a hit. A big one. We're not just talking unhappy staff.
No, it's a real financial shock.
Exactly. Sources suggest replacing a manager, a senior one especially. Once you add up recruitment, lost productivity, training, it can easily cost a year's salary, sometimes more. Retention isn't just nice to have, it's fundamental economics.
So the real question for companies now is, what are the key things they need to get right? To keep people, to avoid that huge cost. We really dove into the sources on this one.
Yeah, our mission today is to unpack the big three, really. The basic conditions of employment, the whole pay structure, remuneration, and then that crucial piece around work-life balance and feeling secure in your job.
And how companies are getting creative with these.
Absolutely. How they're experimenting to, well, get ahead.
Okay, let's start with the foundation. Conditions of employment. These are the basics the employer agrees to provide for your work, the absolute minimums.
That's right. We mean things like your standard hours, annual leave, sick days, public holidays, redundancy pay provisions. These are usually set by law. They're the floor.
But it's interesting how governments and more forward-thinking companies use certain entitlements to sort of redefine that floor, like parental leave.
Oh, parental leave is a great example of where social policy meets business strategy. So in many places, you're entitled to unpaid leave. That's the baseline.
Right.
But then governments might step in. Like the Australian scheme, 18 weeks paid at the minimum wage for the main carer. That shifts the dynamic.
And for a business, the logic is pretty clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
It helps reduce those replacement costs you talked about. People can manage family life and come back smoother.
Yeah.
It's about continuity.
Exactly. It's an investment. But, some employers look at that government floor and think that's not enough to really attract the best people, so they build higher themselves.
Yeah, our sources pointed to the Transport Accident Commission, the TAC, is doing just that. They go way beyond the minimums.
They really do. It's not just the 14 weeks paid maternity leave, which is already pretty good, or the 10 days paid partner leave.
That's significant.
It is. But it's the other things, too. Paid time off for donating blood or for emergency relief work, even for competing in sports events. It sends a message, doesn't it?
It really does. Like, we see you as a whole person.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Not just an employee number.
Which leads us nicely into the next big area, maybe the most talked about right now. Flexibility. This goes beyond just leave time, doesn't it? It's about how and when work gets done.
Right. Flexible working is key. It helps people balance work with everything else, family, life, and for the business. It can mean more efficiency, maybe covering more hours or different time zones.
I was actually surprised by how many types there are now.
Yeah.
It's not just working from home anymore.
No, definitely not. You've got things like variable working days or weeks, Flexitime, where you might choose your own start and finish times within limits. There's Maxiflex, building up extra hours for longer breaks,
Sure.
job sharing, obviously. And yes, remote work or work from home, they all aim to reduce that juggle, that stress.
But the one making the biggest waves globally, the one everyone's talking about, is the 4-day week.
Yes. And the research on this is, well, it's pretty compelling. We saw one study with over 500 business leaders, 2,000 employees, all trying it out.
And the results, they seem almost too good to be true sometimes.
Well, they definitely challenge old ideas about hours worked equals output.
But hold on a sec. Aren't these trials often in industries like tech or consulting, places where maybe it's easier to cut hours? Does it really work for, say, a small shop or a hospital? Is the hype maybe a bit much?
That's a fair point, and definitely something businesses need to consider for their specific context. But the core findings are hard to ignore, whatever the sector. They consistently found three main things. Overall employee satisfaction went up.
Okay, makes sense.
Sickness levels dropped. And crucially, productivity often increased or stayed the same. The goal is often 100% pay, 80% time, 100% output. And many achieved it. It suggests people were finding ways to be more focused, cut out wasted time.
Right, trimming the fat from the fist day, essentially.
Kind of, yeah, which is why you see big names like Unilever, Microsoft, giving it a go in parts of their business. They're looking at the data, the potential efficiency gains.
They're not doing it just to be nice.
No, it's strategic. And if you link it back to retention, this kind of flexibility, like a 4-day week, becomes a massive non-financial perk. It helps with that work-life balance, which keeps people around.
Which brings us neatly to Section 3. Okay, flexibility is great, but is it enough if the actual pay isn't right? Let's talk remuneration, the whole financial side of the deal.
Yeah, pay is just foundational. We probably don't need to define wage versus salary for you listeners.
Yeah.
The key thing strategically is good pay attracts good people, full stop.
Right.
And it's an investment. It boosts motivation, lowers turnover, cuts down on absenteeism. It pays for itself, really.
So it's not just an expense, it's actually driving efficiency.
Yeah.
But companies need to go beyond just the legal minimum, the award rate or whatever it's called where you are. They need a proper remuneration package.
Exactly. And that package needs to be smart, aligned with business goals. It often includes financial incentives, bonuses, commissions, maybe allowances, but tied to hitting specific targets.
Performance-based.
Yes. And then there are the non-cash rewards, things like a company car, a laptop, maybe help with childcare, gym memberships, even holidays sometimes.
And then there's that interesting financial angle. Salary sacrifice
Yeah.
or salary packaging.
Ah, yes, that's a clever one. For both sides, often. The employee agrees to give up some pre-tax salary.
Before tax, that's the key.
Right, and gets a non-cash benefit of the same value instead, like a car, often. Because it's pre-tax, it's a significant incentive for the employee.
But these packages, especially the top end, they aren't always smooth sailing, are they? There's been pushback.
Oh, absolutely. Major pushback sometimes. Shareholders, in particular, have gotten really critical of big executive pay packages, especially when the company itself isn't doing well.
Yeah, if performance is down, but the CEO gets a huge bonus.
Exactly. It completely undermines the whole idea that pay is linked to contribution. If the package rewards failure or just mediocrity, the system's broken. It has to reflect real value created.
Which sets up our final piece, maybe the most human element, job security, work-life balance. For years, there was this kind of unspoken promise, wasn't there? Do a good job, your job's safe. That feels, well, gone now for many.
It really does. Job security, that basic belief you won't just suddenly lose your job, it's become rare. The threats are everywhere. Economic slumps, automation taking over tasks, companies downsizing, global competition. It creates constant uncertainty.
It defines the modern workplace.
For so many people, yes. The numbers are pretty worrying, too. A 2021 estimate suggested nearly a third of Australian workers had jobs with unpredictable pay and hours. That kind of instability just feeds insecurity.
And the human impact.
Oh, it's significant. Job insecurity is directly linked to anxiety, feeling tense, irritable, even depression. And think about the employer-employee relationship. It just tanks. Trust goes down, loyalty goes down.
Yeah.
Even just the threat of layoffs is damaging. People see colleagues go and they start holding back, guarding their effort. Why go the extra mile if you might be next?
That's the gap, isn't it? The gap that work-life balance WLB is supposed to help fill. Finding that right mix of work time and personal time.
Yes, and often businesses only clue in that they have a WLB problem when the symptoms get really obvious and painful.
Like what? What are the warning signs?
Well, the big ones are usually low productivity and high absenteeism. People are just checking out, either mentally or physically, because the demands are just too much, unsustainable.
Okay, so if a company decides, right, we need to fix this, we need to invest in better WLB, what's the actual payoff? Our sources listed quite a few concrete benefits.
Yeah, there are some clear wins. 7 key ones really stand out. First, you obviously get increased productivity from staff who aren't burnt out.
Makes sense.
Your company image gets a boost, which helps attract people. You also keep your skilled people, and you stay compliant with laws, which are increasingly focusing on this.
Okay.
Then financially, you see attendance go up, sick leave costs go down, and maybe the biggest direct saving, lower recruitment and training costs because people actually stick around, retention improves.
Right, avoiding that massive replacement cost we started with.
Exactly. And when you put all that together, you get what every business says it wants. A motivated team, enthusiastic people, contributing properly.
That really ties it all together.
It's the integrated view, yeah. We've gone from the legal basics of conditions through to flexible work strategies and landed on how pay and stability or the lack of it build or break that trust and loyalty.
So let's leave you, our listener, with this final thought to chew on. We know job insecurity is rising, and it corrodes trust, it limits loyalty. So what level of stability, knowing that a lifetime guarantee is probably off the table, what level is actually needed for an employee to feel secure enough? Secure enough that their efforts matter, that they'll be rewarded.
Yeah, put another way. What's the minimum investment in stability and balance that a company needs to make just to get people to contribute more than the absolute minimum required by their contract?
That right there feels like the core challenge for HR strategists today.